Hello, everyone.
Oh, you said that. I was for a second. You said that so excitedly and not super loud, but just enough that it made me go, "Oh," because
I know. I thought the dogs were going to lose their
you
minds.
did the
But
little high pitched like "hello." So,
hello,
yeah.
everyone. It has been, I don't know, like 2 months since we did a show last.
Yeah,
Something like that,
it's summertime. We had a lot of stuff, lots of weekend stuff coming up.
Lazy YouTubers.
Lazy YouTubers. We're on our summer break. Come on, you scoot over a teeny tiny bit.
Yeah.
We're on our summer break here, I guess, unannounced.
We're on summer hiatus. It's like you have to watch the reruns.
So we thought we'd do we were gonna do a recap of eBay Open. We were gonna do it much earlier than this. We are gonna do it last Sunday, but one of the things, and we might talk about it more later, but I guess there's not really a whole lot to talk about. But not completely unexpectedly, I guess, with conferences like this, there was a bit of a COVID going around.
There was a bit of the COVID. It feels like so I ended up getting COVID. It wasn't too bad. But worse was poor Trish, our friend, got COVID. Once again, I swear Vegas is trying to kill her.
Mm-hmm.
This is like the third time she's gotten COVID from an event in Vegas. And the thing is that it really, really kicks her butt.
Yeah.
She is vaccinated and everything, but every time she gets it, she gets super sick. So she spent almost a week laying on the couch and in our spare bedroom. She flew home red-eye Wednesday night, and she's still feeling like garbage, hopefully getting better. Totally. It was another super spreader. I'm sorry, eBay. I think it's anytime.
Super sale Trish, or is it super spreader Trish?
No,
Just
that's
kidding.
rude.
I'm kidding. We've heard
she
people.
Just gets it all the time.
There were people who were sick before her, so she is not patient zero. But she came home, and on Sunday we were going to do. Had planned to do a recap show with Trish, but she was super sick, and I was like, "Well, let's just not do the show." And Vikki was like, "No, we're doing the show. Schedule it." So I go schedule it. I do the whole thing, put on makeup, do my hair, everything, and then Vikki also had to fly out to California to help her daughter with some stuff. And when I had said let's cancel the show, I'm like, this is ridiculous. Like, we're gonna do the show at 2. She's got to go to the airport at 3. She had to do all of her shipping, and not just her normal weekend shipping. She had to do all of her shipping from the entire week before. So it was like 8 days worth of shipping or something like that.
It was overly ambitious.
So I swear, the second I'm ready, makeup done, I'm camera ready, Vikki goes, I think I was overly ambitious, and I'm like, you think? And so then I'm like, I didn't post it anywhere. I don't think, or maybe I had posted. I don't remember, but basically I was like, let's just pull it. And then some people were like, what happened?
Yeah, so Kathy says, I don't know how she didn't get sick. I'm glad you didn't. Andrea, I'm glad we got to see you too. Hopefully you didn't get sick as well. Mo came to visit briefly on her way home. She happened to be here in Vegas with family. Didn't catch it, even though we clearly all had it without symptoms yet by the time she stopped by. But Deb got it. But Deb also spent days with all of us.
Yeah, so she probably got it.
She could have gotten it at any point at the conference.
I didn't get it.
Katy has never gotten it. I've gotten it 3 or 4 times at this point. But anyway, I'm feeling much better. For me, it just hit with just massive fatigue all week. But I'm okay. Andrea didn't get it either. Great. I'm super glad. Anyway, but a good portion of the people that we were hanging out with ended up getting it. Mm-hmm. So I don't know if it was us or if it was one of them, but whatever.
It wasn't. Here's the thing. We knew a couple of people that had it earlier in the week. We won't name any names. Don't want to make anyone feel bad, but we heard a couple people that had it earlier in the week. So we know it wasn't us necessarily, although there could have been some spreading going on. Wednesday night we did have a List Perfectly party in our in the suite that we were in with Trish, and there were 50 people packed in there.
There were 50 people packed into the party suite. We had a good time. We filled the bathtub with ice and beer. It was crazy.
But that may have been a poor choice.
Yeah,
not really. I mean, I'm kidding. The reality is it's around. We know it's around. Anytime you're jam-packed into spaces with lots of people, you might get it. So,
Lori, I'm glad you popped in to see us at 10 o'clock at night.
Lori, get those pants off. Come on.
She's like, 10 o'clock at night? What do you think of me? Anyway,
Sorry.
it was a great time. We'll talk a little bit about the event. Super Spreader didn't get Lori or Dennis. That's good.
And they were at the sardine party, so.
I know.
But I've never gotten it. Either I've never gotten it or I've never had symptoms, or I might be an asymptomatic person, never tested positive. And the thing is, Trish was feeling sick and we had some COVID tests, but they were like, we couldn't tell if they were expired. We couldn't tell the date on it. It was like when they were made or whatever. Anyway, so I had her take one. It was negative, and then a couple days later she was still feeling terrible and she wanted to look into getting medication. And so I'm like, take this other test, and guess what? It was like, you know, they say like, wait 15 minutes to look at it. Don't look at it only between 15 minutes and 20 minutes. Don't look at it before and don't look at it after. But the thing is, when they're positive, they pop pretty fast.
Yeah, it's positive.
It
right
comes
away.
up within like 2 minutes, and it's not like it disappears again. So
Yep.
once that line comes up. Anyway, but I have a question for you guys. Is my look saying serial killer? Is it saying hipster? Or is it saying I got something stuck in my contact that scratched my eyeball, and so I'm wearing glasses for a few days? What do you think?
I think it's a combination between hipster and serial killer.
Oh, okay.
I mean, they're not the glass. If they were the brass rimmed glasses, like Jeffrey Dahmer, I think it would be more serial killer esque. But I think you can get away with hipster
Yeah,
right now.
Lori says hipster. Come on. I like you, Lori. I knew I liked you for a reason.
So anyway, let's talk about eBay Open. First of all, this is the first time eBay has had an open event in person since 2019. So 6 years. I went to 2016, 2017, 2018, and 2019, and this was my fifth in-person event. And I have to say, this was my favorite one. I don't know why. Maybe it's because it had been so long since the last one. Maybe it was because I knew so many people there this year, and it was like a big reunion with a bunch of friends. Maybe it was because it wasn't our event, so I didn't feel the pressure that we were hosting, like for the remix event, which I love our event, but we are the host, so we run around like nuts the whole time, and it's exhausting and stressful, and it's not quite as much fun.
Now you did have to speak, so you were nervous for like a day and a half.
I was nervous for
Whereas
like a day and a half.
I didn't have to do jack, you guys. I didn't have to do anything. I didn't have to be
You just
anywhere.
had to listen to me being anxious.
She did make me get up early one day to go witness her doing an interview. I was a little salty about it, but then I was fine. But otherwise, I didn't have to do anything. I just hung out.
It was honestly, it was one of the best times I've had in a long time. So we'll talk about it. Obviously, we all know that I think most of you know that in-person events, if you have the opportunity to go, absolutely go. I don't care if it's an eBay Open event, a Posh Fest event, the Boss Reseller Remix, some type of meetup that's a large group of people. Getting other resellers together in person is fantastic. It just is. There's nothing like that feeling of people getting together. So the interview that I did, Lori, it aired right before the closing keynote, and it was only shown to the virtual attendees. They did not upload it to the recordings. I'm trying to get a recording to show you guys. I've asked them if they can send it to me, so we'll see. It was with Michael Swope and I. We interviewed with Rebecca Michaels at the news desk that was on top of the live studio that was at the event. And then I did get to speak on stage in they called it the Seller Spotlight stage in the expo hall the first night, which was nice because everybody was in there. There was nowhere else to be. So I had a little bit of a captive audience, I think. It was either they were talking to me or they were talking to vendors. So that was fun. I was happy to have been asked to be a part of Open on an official capacity. So it was a good time.
I got to go to the interview. They let me come upstairs. There was like hardly anywhere for me to stand, so I just kind of stood in the corner. But they had like those, what are the mics called?
We had like the wireless headset mics.
But they were like I couldn't hear anything. It
was like the Britney Spears microphone.
Yeah, so I didn't have, and they didn't give me headphones or anything. So I couldn't hear anything. I couldn't even see Vikki's face because of the way she was seated. So I just kind of stood there and was like, I'm sure good things are happening right now.
I know, it was pretty quiet. It was fun. It was a lot of fun though. We had a good time. And for those of us that are meetup leaders, we were we got to go to a really nice cocktail reception on Tuesday night. That was a lot of fun. No Pants is back. Trish, I hope you're feeling better, my friend.
I hope you're taking your meds.
She was finally home. She went home in the middle of the night on Wednesday.
And you need to change your picture on your YouTube avatar. Just saying.
So poor Trish, every time she comes to Vegas, we try to kill her. She did not get to stay and do fun Vegas-y stuff for the several days she was here after open, which was the point.
I think fun Vegas-y stuff is lounging around on our couch, cuddling our dogs, and watching lots of movies. Vikki, because she had to be gone for one night to California, and then also she went to bed early a couple nights. Trish and I actually watched. I had never watched any of the the newer Star Wars movies. Like, of course, I've seen 4, 5, and 6. Of course, I've seen 1, 2, and 3. But beyond that, I never watched any of it. We watched 4 Star Wars movies. We watched the first 2 episodes.
You can tell I would not have wanted to do that. So I'm glad I went to bed early because I was so tired and sick.
We watched the first 2 episodes of the new Alien TV series, which is really freaking good. So if you're an Alien fan, it's seriously, so far, the first 2 episodes, fan-freaking-tastic. And so, yeah, we got to totally geek out.
And Tammy, I just realized that Ginger K is you because when Katy pulled up the photo, I couldn't tell the avatar is so small. But that's Tammy.
Hi, Tammy.
Anyway, yeah, so let's talk about it. So first, eBay Open, first thing. So the first night, I co-hosted a kind of a meet and greet reception at a bar in the middle of the Venetian with my friend Julie, Casa Chic, and my new friend Amanda, Tuition Ain't Cheap.
Technically the Palazzo.
Yes, it was at the Palazzo, sorry. They're attached. Anyway, so we had about 100 people show up to that cocktail reception. It was just an unofficial meet and greet. It's something we've done every year, which is why we always added it to the Boss Reseller Remix first night. Because it's a really nice way for people to get together that are coming into the event the day before. They get to have a cocktail, meet up with their friends, meet new friends, kind of do some icebreakers so that you don't feel like, you're walking into a conference and you don't know anybody. We've always done that and been part of going to one before eBay Open. So this is a new one. And we had a lot of fun. It was a really fun time.
Yep.
Got to see friends that we hadn't seen in a long time.
Pro tip, so this is one of those bars that's like out in the middle of the casino, and we got there and Vicky's like, hey, get me a beer, and she said just like that.
Yeah,
and
because
so
I talk like that.
So I'm like,
go get me a beer, witch.
So it would be wench, wouldn't it? Beer wench. Anyway, so me being me, I was like, all right, well, I gotta buy her a beer, but I'm gonna only buy her beer and see what these prices are all about. And it was like $15 for a Michelob Ultra.
Yeah.
And I said, no, thank you. I mean, I bought her beer, and then I said, enjoy your $15 beer. I'm going to run back up to the room. And so I went up to the room, filled up my little bag with some cans of beer.
Pocketbook beers.
Some pocketbook beers. And I also mixed up a whiskey drink for Trish in her Starbucks cup. Came back down. Never had it, because you're not like in a bar. It's like it's
big open bar.
Big open.
Yeah.
Never had anyone look at me sideways. I'm just drinking my own beer, and those beers were like $13 for a 24 pack.
Well, pocketbook beers. Listen, we learned about pocketbook drinks from our dear friend Diane when we were on Block Island, and there's something to be said for pocketbook drinks.
Yeah.
Okay. So yeah, Vegas was not cheap.
But here's the thing, guys. Because sometimes we do staycations here and stuff. Vegas, there's a couple ways to get cheap beers. One is to be playing slots and gambling, and they'll bring you a free beer. You tip them $1. But the other major way, if you're staying in a hotel there, bring your own alcohol. Get it off strip. Bring your own beers. If you don't have a fridge in your room, you fill up your sink or your bathtub with ice. You keep it cold, and you just bring down beers that you drink. You can do it for so freaking cheap. So we were basically paying like 50 cents a beer. There's literally no reason to be paying that much money for beer.
And so here's the thing. People think Vegas is cheap. Vegas used to be cheap. Vegas used to be cheap to vacation, cheap to get hotel rooms, cheap to get flights, cheap to get booze, cheap to get buffets. That's gone. Those days of Vegas are long gone. Vegas in the last 5 to 7 years is just as expensive as any other tourist destination. There is no more cheap anything. Sadly, that is the truth.
Yeah, you just have to know how to game the system, though, like what I'm talking about.
Exactly.
There's tricks.
Exactly. There's tricks and tips. So that was the first night. That was Monday night. We had a great time, had some cocktails, went to dinner with a few friends after. We went to a nice Italian restaurant. We had a good time. And we were in bed kind of early. Registration was on Tuesday. So we had, again, get to meet up with a lot of friends. There's lots of hugs. It's like a family reunion every time you go to this type of event, whether it's the Boss Reseller Remix or eBay Open. It's so much fun seeing friends that you only get to see once a year. Sometimes it's people we hadn't seen in a few years, probably since the last eBay Open, which was great.
I felt like we got to see old friends that we're really close with, so that was really fun. I felt like we got to see people we had met before, but we hadn't necessarily had the opportunity to actually hang out with and talk with. And so I feel like there's some people who like I've known for
like Lori,
a couple years.
For example, we know Lori from online,
but we've never met her in person. What I'm saying is people that we've actually been in person with, that we just didn't have enough time to become friends with beyond just the hello. So I feel like I got to know some people that I already knew, but I actually got to know them better and be like, oh, I really do like this person. And then there's people like Lori where we've always seen her little tiny avatar on our screen. I know you get to see her more in
our seller meeting,
but I don't. And so it was really nice to get to meet her. And one of my highlights of the whole week, one of my favorite things about the whole week, was the significant others, the spouses, the partners.
Yeah.
Like, there were some freaking awesome ones. Like, Lori's husband, amazing. Love him. Quiet
I
dude.
know. Dennis is adorable, by the way.
He's
husband
quiet,
is really
but he's
sweet.
so sweet. So many people.
Julie Casa Chic, her husband Craig.
Was awesome. He's actually the one who told me I was being ridiculous not having watched all those Star Wars movies, and I have other homework from him as well. There were just like multiple people whose spouses or partners had nothing to do with reselling, but were there and were just like super cool, and really fun. So
our friend Patty Whitlock, who lives in Florida, we love her husband.
Don't
Price.
get me started on Price.
Katy loves Price, and has not seen him since 2019. And he was like, "How do you even remember my name?" And she's like, "You don't even understand. I still love you."
Well, I'm Anna's husband, so there's just like a lot of
Anna Packer's husband, John.
Anna Packer's husband,
lovely,
and of course Ken's wife, who we love, JC, who we love very much. Who I almost gave her a heart attack. I thought I was gently letting her know I was there, and scared the crap out of her. She almost fell out of her chair, and then we laughed hysterically. It was very fun. But yeah, those were my favorites because I was kind of like a support partner for this event, even though I'm a reseller too. So it was like I was getting to know my people.
You were the support partner.
I was the plus one. I was getting to know my people.
Anyway, we had a really great time. So I mean, that part is always the best part, right? I think the best part of going to reseller events is absolutely the networking, the friendships that you cement, the friendships that you forge. That to me is my favorite part. I will say right up front, I didn't attend a single session. That being said, every single session is available online and streaming. Not all of the interviews, not all of the talks, but every session is available online. And I have gone back and watched a few of them this week and will continue to watch a few others. I did attend the keynotes because that's where they always gave the information from eBay officially. One of the nice things they did is that they gave everyone back their $300 ticket in the form of a gift card. Most people got theirs today. I know I got mine today.
Today, yeah.
Which I think is fantastic. They've never done that before. Sometimes you get a $20 gift card or something in your bag, your swag bag, but they gave everyone a $300 gift card, which is the price of the ticket, which I think that's great.
Yeah.
They didn't have to do that. So I thought that was pretty awesome.
Well, and I think there are a lot of people who, it was probably a stretch for them to buy a ticket and travel to Vegas. And, it's definitely an investment. Mm-hmm. So I'm sure it actually meant a lot to a lot of people to all of a sudden have $300 that they can.
Yeah, and it's very
buy supplies, go buy inventory, or buy stuff for yourself.
Buy something you needed for yourself, for your business. Buy a new printer, buy a, it's very unexpected, and I thought it was very nice that they did that. They've never done that before. And so this was a smaller scale eBay Open. If you'd been to eBay Open in the past, but you didn't attend this one, or even if you did attend this one, you'll notice that it was a lot smaller. This was about 12 to 1,400 sellers, where in the past it was 3,000 to 4,000 sellers. So it was about half the size of attendees. However, I think that made it feel almost a little bit more intimate. I really liked it. The 4,000 people was always a bit too much. This felt really nice. Like it was a good amount of people.
It was.
This was, yes, this was about half the size as it used to be, maybe a third of the size of what it used to be. And it was a lot scaled down too. While they fed us well, they did cocktail reception. It was open bar every day for a couple of hours.
Breakfast, lunch.
They had breakfast, lunch, and heavily passed appetizers that could have passed for dinner with the open bar every day, which was fantastic. They haven't done that as much in the past. They had scaled back a lot. So I think one of the things about it being a smaller event, they were able to do a little bit more in the way of that, which was nice.
Yeah, you could easily get away with not spending any money for at least the few days of the actual event. Because even if
you really could, you could have gone there and you could have gone and not spent any money on food the whole week. I know a few people did that.
They had like a bacon wrapped braised short rib that was ridiculously good.
It was good. That was
and
good.
I'm sad that I only got one of them because it was really
so we
yummy.
were fed pretty well every night, and then the last night. And we'll talk about the meat and potatoes of the event itself.
Hi, Nicole.
Hi, Nicole. And the last night was a party at the Tao nightclub inside the Venetian, which is a super high-end nightclub here in Vegas. I guarantee none of us that went there had ever been there before, even those of us that live in Vegas, because A, we're too old. B, we're not paying $700 for bottle service, and we're not waiting in line for 3 hours to get into a club at midnight because we are just too old for that crap. But that is the type of club it is. But they had rented the whole club, and we were there from 7 to 10, which was perfect. They actually opened the club up to the regular people after 10, and they said you could stay if you wanted to. I don't know that many people stayed, but it was a lot of fun. It was a great, the food was great. They had great Asian food that was there, and we danced all night long.
They were passing around appetizers there too, and they had this deep fried crispy rice with spicy spicy tuna on top that was so freaking delicious.
Everything they had was really good.
We danced like crazy.
We danced for like 3 hours, sang at the top of our lungs.
Which Chris did, speaking of Mr. Packer, Vikki, if you look on Facebook, Vikki had a post with all the photos and stuff like that. She had a few videos. There's a video of her and John's dancing next to each other. They weren't dancing with each other, just next to each other. There was like
we were dancing up on the riser.
Yeah, the riser or whatever. All the people. It was really fun. Everybody up there dancing. And at one point, I think Anna got down, and then he was just like, "I'm gonna keep on working it up here." It was really, really fun. We
had a great time. So the party was a lot of fun. And again, ended at 10 o'clock, which I think was perfect. We didn't feel like we missed it. I really had such a good time. Liz. Hey, Liz.
Hey, Liz. You know, Lori, when we first came in, the karaoke room was the first place we went. And I wanted to get back there. And I had gone through, like, it was actually 3 levels. I had gone through all the levels, and then at one point I was trying to find somebody, and I think Liz shared a video of where they were, and I had thought I'd already been everywhere, and Liz shares this video, and it's like, I'm like, where is this even at? And that's where the dance floor was.
Oh, see, I found
the dance floor. It was a whole huge space, but it was right next to the karaoke.
I found the dance floor because I went to go sneak a cigarette with Ryan Wilson from the Blind Center, and he found the secret exit entrance area to go smoke. And I smoke when I drink, guys. Sorry, don't at me. And so we were having a cigarette, and we come back in, and everybody's line dancing. They were doing like the Cupid Shuffle or something. I was like, okay, see ya, I'm going to go dance. I didn't know anybody was on the dance floor at that time. And then, you guys came back.
I had to, because we were separated, and I had to go and stop somebody that worked there and show them Liz's video. And I'm like, please, where in the hell is this? Because I need to. And they were like, oh, go upstairs to where the karaoke is, but go the other direction. And I'm like, oh, okay.
It was a lot of fun.
Well, and then we were like, we need to go to like a dance night here because they do it at the Brooklyn Bowl, and it usually is over like 10 o'clock.
They do like an 80s and 90s night sometimes for the old people like us, and it's an early night. So I would definitely want to do it again. We really had so much fun. And I'm very jealous because Liz gets to go back for the government relations thing. I went last year. It happened to be during Open Week last year when everyone was filming for Open. And Liz gets to go to headquarters this week to do the government relations. And then she gets to see our friend Shelly and
we're
hang out with Shelly. I'm jealous.
Super jealous. Do you want to look at some pictures or?
Yeah, we'll share some pictures from the event, and then we'll talk about what actually happened and some of the news from eBay in case you haven't heard about it, and we can discuss that. So we're going to share the screen and show some of our fun pictures.
I just grabbed these all from your Facebook post. So
All right.
Look, it's us.
It's us. Yay.
Who's glaring at us right
That's
here?
Barbie.
Is it
Better, better Barb.
Okay. I was like, all I see is the eyes.
I remember she had the headband. It's the only reason why I remember that she was. So this is me very excited but sick to my stomach that I was actually going to be speaking that day. And again, it's not that big of a deal for a lot of people. I'm very confident when I'm talking to friends or I'm on here, but it's been a me speaking on a stage with a microphone makes me very nervous, and it was unscripted, so I was a little nervous.
Yeah. Kristen says the government relations team is coming to their meetup in Illinois.
That's awesome.
They're my favorite team. They're my favorite team of eBay, only because
they do the hard work.
Their whole purpose is just to go and deal with like the federal government. They do so much for us on the back end that I don't think anyone really understands how much. And I think hearing what they have to say at your meetup, you're going to learn a bit more about what they do. It's one of the best parts of eBay is the government relations network. If you're not involved, please get involved. It's free to do it. They don't ask a lot of you, and it's really, really good. All right. In case just so that Kristen sees this, Stacy's in Illinois and wants to know where the meetup is.
Oh, Kristen, if you can, I think put a link to your meetup there in the chat if you can. I think you have to give her a wrench. Give Kristen a wrench, and she can post her meetup link.
Yeah, but what if she gets sick with power and just like goes crazy?
Well, I'm willing to vouch for her. I think Kristen...
I can't because I'm not. This is your YouTube, not our YouTube.
Oh, sorry.
So
you might have to spell it out. Sorry. Liz, maybe you could put, if you're on your computer, if you could put Kristen's meetup link in there. Anyway, so let's go back some pictures. This is our friend Jody. I did see in the chat there, someone asked if the dress, the famous eBay dress, made an appearance again. It did. The very first person to wear the eBay dress was Anna Packer. She wore it at the end of eBay Open last year during the auction. It happened to be virtual. So she was wearing it live while she was doing the auction. A friend of hers made it, who is a costume designer. So that was auctioned off. The person that won that dress donated it to us for the Boss Reseller Remix to auction it off again. I wore it while we were auctioning it at the Boss Reseller Remix this year. And then Jody, of course, is the one that won it because, come on, who else could have worn the dress?
She wasn't going to let anyone else have it.
And so Jody wore the eBay dress on the last day. So there are now 3 people that have worn the eBay dress, and it is the Sisterhood of the Traveling eBay Dress is what we're calling it at this point. But I don't think Jody will ever get rid of it. So,
all right, let's put that in the chat. I will bet though that the dress on Jody is going to have the most pictures out in the world.
I think once the eBay photos,
everybody wanted to take pictures.
Once the eBay photos come out from the actual,
it's going to be all over the place.
Yeah, it's great. Got to see Wade. Wade was there for the couple of the days. I don't think he made it the last day because if you know Wade, Wade gets Vegas.
That little a-hole didn't even tell us he was coming, and we were walking down the hall, and all of a sudden we look over, and there he is, and we yelled at him a bunch, and then he laughed, and it was all good.
Yep, so he was there.
I don't think I got a picture with him.
And
there's Jody, and there's Deb, and there's
Cheryl. Yeah. So this was during, I don't know what, but this was something in the vendor hall because that's that seller spotlight stage behind us.
This is a stage that Vikki actually spoke on, but somebody else is speaking there.
And this is Arlene and Sue. And you can see Will Chappelle in the background there. Will Chappelle from Worth Point. That was during the cocktail meetup. You can go a little faster.
Oh, sorry.
Well, I mean.
Here's Vikki speaking.
This was somebody who posted this and called me the Queen of Vintage. I actually don't remember who posted that, and I thought that was fun. That was cute.
But look how cute she looks. They had the expo hall was so awesome. They have this whole area set up because it was the 30th anniversary, 30th birthday of eBay, and they had it was basically like a museum, and you could go through and see all kinds of really cool displays and different things. Lots of collectibles and toys. It was really fun. You can go learn about the history of eBay.
They had the #1 eBay employee that was there guiding the tour. So that was fun. And Griff, of course, was there. And we'll talk about Griff is retiring. Griff is the OG. He is somewhere between, he is either #5, #6, or #11 employee. Nobody can remember. So they kind of settled on 6. Nobody can remember exactly what number he was hired, but Griff is an eBay institution in and of himself, and he announced his retirement. So it was.
I mean, it's 30 years old. He's been there for 29, so pretty much most of it. But you can see we ran into Ken.
It's Ken Hustleby. It's his
Hustleby.
birthday today, by the way. This was Paul from My Reseller Genie.
I got to hold their baby, Faith and Paul. I know she took some pictures and got a video of me making the baby giggle. I love babies. I have not seen that video yet. I might have to reach out to her.
Yeah, she hasn't sent them to me yet either.
He's so cute and so chunky.
He is a big, fat, chunky baby. His name is Felix.
As they should be.
And I love him.
Oh, yeah. He's so freaking cute. And
I'm opening a beer, sorry.
So giggly. This is when I got trapped in the eBay box. I think I'm a pretty good mime. It looks like I'm really stuck in there.
It's pretty ridiculous. You're not that good.
How dare you? There's Julie.
Julie Casa Chic, for anyone that doesn't know. She was, I've met Julie before in the past, and I've been on her channel before, and she's absolutely fantastic. I got to spend more time with her this time than I ever have before, and I really enjoyed talking to her a lot.
I'm pretty much best friends with her husband, Craig, now.
Seriously.
So...
This is our friend Rich Setter, and I will say in part of my interview with eBay, I did mention Rich, not by name, but I will say that was my favorite part about eBay Open was him coming up to me at one point, and I'm going to try not to get teary-eyed because we all know I'm a big wuss and I cry at everything. So I met Rich for the first time at the Boss Reseller Remix this year. It was his first eBay event that he had ever come to, or first reseller event he'd ever come to, and he came by himself, and he's really shy. And he was very quiet, and he was sitting by himself on the first day, and I kind of attacked him like I do with people that sit by themselves. And I made sure that he met other people, and he ended up having a great time at the event. And he actually came to see Trish and I when we were on our road trip in Maryland, which is where he lives. And he came to see us when we were there, and we had a meet up. And then he came to this event, and he came up to me and he said, I just wanted to thank you for making me step out of my shell and making me come and meet people and have a good time, because I was really nervous and you made it easier. And I absolutely loved hearing that, because he was so... See, I was at the Phoenix meetup too. I didn't meet him there, Kathy, because he lives in Baltimore, Maryland.
Yeah.
I don't know if he was at that, but anyway, it was really nice that he said that. So, you know, I try really hard to be inclusive. I know that not everybody is a social butterfly. I know Katy's pretty shy. She's probably not going to go up and talk to people that don't come to talk to her first. And
I try.
You try, but
sometimes I manage it.
It's not the easiest thing for you to do. Where for me, I will talk to a wall, and you know.
Yeah, it's really weird.
So that really meant a lot to me. So Rich, if you're watching,
he's a very nice guy.
I appreciate that. And my picture with Jamie Iannone.
You got so many pictures with so many different people, and I'm like,
because I made it a point to take pictures this year.
I took some.
Because I usually don't take pictures. And this is Harlan and his beautiful girlfriend, Marcia. She was fantastic too. We had a great time. Those of you some people might recognize Harlan. He's a funny, good dude. And next, Pam, one of the Pams.
Also got the COVID.
Pam.
Not so lucky now, are you, Pam?
Oh, you're so rude, Katy. Jeez. It probably is because I skipped all the classes. I wanted to make sure I took pictures of everybody.
Now, this is a really important picture here. Liz, she's smart. She's smart. And she figured out the one spot where the best lighting was.
That's true.
And we went back to that spot multiple times, because it's true. Like the first picture that we had shown, it was not great as far as lighting goes. We looked good in it, but we were super blue. This was like in front of this light wall, and she was like, you gotta come over here for this selfie. So
she's right.
She knows what to do.
She knew where the light was best.
Yep.
Say we took that there.
We got Nanette here and David.
Let's see. There's Trish.
There's Trish.
And Lori Wong and Michael Swope and Katy and I. So a lot of this is just selfies. Sorry, I didn't know she put it up there.
I just put up a bunch of pictures. Who cares? They're going to look at our slideshow. It's like we just got back from vacation and we're sitting you down. Sorry we don't have any popcorn for you. Get your own damn popcorn.
You were awfully sassy tonight.
So this is where they were filming the interview, and it's on top, right underneath was where they had eBay Live set up.
And this is 7:30 in the morning, so you can see it's empty. There's nobody there because it wasn't open to anyone yet.
Oh, you can see right there. It says Museum of eBay. So this whole all around is this huge expo hall. But it was really
This was on a second level that was open. Yeah. They called the news desk.
So this is literally as big as it was, and I was like standing right here in the corner.
Trying not to mess up the guy's board.
Yeah, and I had like 2 cups of coffee, and I'm like, ugh. But it was still really fun. This is a really cool picture that I think Georgia took.
Yeah, Georgia took this picture.
Getting mic'd up. Mm-hmm. And it was very exciting. This is our buddy. I don't know if you know him. He's in the Backstreet Boys.
His name is Nick Carter. Actually, I didn't take this picture. Our friend Patrick took this picture because he's really good at taking photos, so I stole it from him. Well, he sent it to me.
He's really good at using portrait mode, and it makes it look.
It is the slideshow of Grandma and Grandpa's vacation. Seriously.
It is, for sure. So this was a surprise, though. We didn't find out till like the day of that the Backstreet Boys were going. It wasn't all of them. It was 3 of them, and it was mostly just Nick. He was friends with these guys who do card breaks.
Right, and so here's the thing: it was 3 of the 5 of the Backstreet Boys, and we joked that eBay couldn't afford all 5 of them, but that wasn't the case. We actually just found out yesterday.
I was about to tell the story.
We just found out yesterday that they didn't get paid.
So I was about to tell the story, but Nick is friends with the card break guys, and the card break guys. So the Backstreet Boys have a residency right now at the Sphere, which is most people who go to the Sphere for the show are staying at the Venetian. So I'm assuming they're probably staying there too. Mm-hmm. And so it's not like they had to travel to get there. But the card break guys basically invited Nick to come and hang out and do this live show. And so as far as we know, eBay didn't pay him at all.
There's not as far as we know, because if you had let me finish, we found out yesterday in our meeting that they did not get paid. Yeah. They came because they wanted to. They came as a favor to the guy that was doing the card breaks. eBay did not plan it, and they were not paid to be there. So I thought that was pretty cool.
Very cool.
And they signed some things and took selfies with some people, and it was basically the majority of the eBay employees who were all the millennials that were losing their minds. Most of us are a little bit older, so we were like, oh, that's really cool, but there were not a whole heck of a lot of fangirling happening.
I saw quite a bit of fangirling happening.
Yeah, the employees.
All right. This is just the stage, which was actually much bigger than this looks, but for the main area. And look, it's Yuri. Look how cute she is. We love Yuri. Now, Yuri was fangirling. Now, she is younger than us, but she was like singing along. I took like a little video of her. It was really cute. But we were not expecting her to be there because she did not tell us she was coming. And all of a sudden, I think it was while you were speaking, Vikki it was her speaking. She was on stage. She looks down and just sees cute, sweet little Yuri looking up at her and smiling.
She ran to be there off the airplane to be there for my speech. And she was sitting right in the front, and I was talking, and I looked out and I saw her and I was like, oh, it's Yuri.
Yeah. Yuri makes everything better. So we're on the dance floor here. And I would like to point out that you can't see the whole outfit, but I did style Vikki for the final party. I don't know if you guys know, but she was looking desperately for a jumpsuit. A few years ago, they were everywhere. Even up to last year, they were everywhere. Mm-hmm. Suddenly, you're like, okay, you've lost a lot of weight. You're like, I would look amazing in jumpsuits. You want to go get some, and how much luck did you have?
We went to like 7 stores, nary a jumpsuit to be found.
And then, like 2 days before we were going to eBay Open, I go by myself to Deseret, and I happened to find 2 different jumpsuits, and one of them I showed to her, and she's like, yeah, give me that one. And then the other one, which is this one, I didn't even show it to her. I'm just like, she's going to like this one. And it happened that this one fit her better than the other one did. And she looked freaking adorable, dancing.
This was at our seller meetup leader meet and greet that we did, the cocktail reception with Valerie. Valerie is the head of seller engagement at eBay. She works closely with Kaomi, that some of you may know. She's fantastic. We love Valerie. Valerie did have a drink in her hand. She was dancing like crazy on the dance floor with a wine glass, which I thought was not spill a drop.
Which I thought was hilarious because it was like a full-on wine glass with red wine in it, and she was rocking with everybody.
I think Lori was being facetious. That
Whatever.
She definitely
well,
did
she's
not
allowed to
in
have a
her
drink. There's no rules that they can't have drinks. More of us were cute. I don't know why I have so many of those. And then this is at the end of the night, the very last day, when they had given Griff flowers because he retired, and then they brought up everybody who got to speak at the event, and so the whole stage was filled with everybody, including Vikki. Vikki speaking. What?
Nothing. It's just a...
I took all these pictures from your personal
You did.
Facebook posts, so I knew, guys, I knew I wasn't going to accidentally put a picture up she didn't want up. It was all stuff that she personally put up. Just saying.
This is Liz and I losing money.
Okay, now I also want to point out how great the lighting is when you take pictures by slot machines.
I mean, it's pretty good lighting.
Right? You guys look great. And that's Vikki making faces at me. And there was this wall where you got to sign stuff, and so I wrote, Vikki made me come to Open 25.
It's actually, I believe Trish made you come.
That's true. But it was funnier to say you did. So they had this thing where when you got your swag bag, you got a little ticket that you went in and traded in for a t-shirt, and they were actually printing them. They were screening them right there. So all the t-shirts say, I'll show you right here.
Oh, yeah, that couple from Storage Wars was there. Yeah, Renee and I don't know his wife's name. Yes, they actually spoke.
So this is the t-shirt, and then this is the front, and then on the back, you could pick between 4 different designs. Mm-hmm. And 4 different colors. You couldn't change colors with designs. It was just like the design Vikki has in her picture was pink. And then I picked this is the design I got. It's for the 30 years. But it was really cool. You would go up and they would actually screen print it right there. And it was like super fast drying.
Yeah. They had a thing that handed it to you right after. It was fun.
It was really fun. But I think this was the best one for you.
Just because it was pink.
And graffiti. It looks cool.
Speaking of our friend Georgia, that is Georgia. She works for eBay. She's adorable. Mm-hmm. She lives in Canada. And that is Jacob. He's another eBay employee that
we've known
forever. Known for a long time now.
I think we've known. I think I met him in 2017. And there's Griff.
There's Griff, the legend himself. I'm very sad to see him leave. This might be the last time we got to see him. Unless we'll hit him up when we go to Palm Springs.
There you go.
See if he wants to go get lunch.
Yeah, there's a bigger picture of like everybody on stage, all the speakers on stage, and then they also had this really cool photo area where you get your picture taken, and you would get it sent to you in an email, but you also got like a little print out of it.
I didn't get the emails. I got to go see if I can find them.
I know, right? But this is obviously the best one. Trish and I actually had to darken it. I did some editing on the actual digital version of it because it was a little bit too bright. But we look pretty tough. This is like if we were on Law & Order, right? Mm-hmm. This is our Law & Order photo. So, anyway, so why don't you talk more about what happened at eBay as far as like announcements that they made?
So there's some pretty good ones. I mean, one of the things that they did talk about was some seller protections, which I liked. Let's see, seller item not received protections. So starting in October, hold on, it's going too fast. Starting in October, there is a protection if you use, God, sorry, my fault. I'm trying to get the paperwork.
Which thing are you talking about?
Never mind, I'm going to wing it. All right, so starting in October, if you use eBay shipping, you cannot use Pirate Ship, you can't use Activia, you can't use any of the other third-party shipping sites, but if you use eBay shipping and use eBay shipping labels, if your item gets lost in the ether, as has been happening a lot lately, and it doesn't make it to the buyer and they force a refund because it's an item not received, you will be protected. eBay will pay you out and pay out your buyer. Also, if an item not received case closes and then it somehow finds out that it's delivered later, it doesn't matter. Same thing. You're still going to get paid out.
Yeah. Key part of that is that you have to use an eBay label. I know you said that. So, like, for me, I only get my labels through Pirate Ship. But maybe if it was a really expensive item and I wanted a little bit of extra protection, I'd go ahead and buy an eBay label for that one.
Correct. I think that's a good one. Let's see. Okay, so the other thing too, if you happen to sell electronics or things for parts, this is the only category that it is for. When you sell things as is for parts only, You have to put it in the correct category, as is for parts only. You have to have it in your item description box, as is parts only.
Or not working.
Or not working. That means finally that sale is a final sale. It cannot be returned.
And you have no returns accepted.
And you have no returns accepted on it, which is what most people do when they're selling something for parts. In the past, INADs and automatic returns were forced. Even if you put that something wasn't working, your buyer would be like, oh, this doesn't work, I'm going to return it. And they would force you to take it back. Now they have fixed that, and that is a protection that is fantastic.
Yeah. So basically, though, just to clarify, if they want to do a return based on just remorse, they can't at all do it. If they want to say item not as described, even though it freaking says for parts as is not working, if they want to claim that somehow you duped them, they literally have a 3-day window that they can open that claim.
Correct. Instead of 30 days or 60 days, it's a 3-day window, which is a lot like Macari or Poshmark, but it is only in that category, so don't get too excited. If you sell in that category, that's fantastic for you. If you don't sell in that category, like me, it'll probably never apply. It might apply to one listing every 3 years. So I think that's a pretty important one. As Lori is alluding to in the chat there, one of the things that was mentioned during our the Google session, which I highly recommend you watch that one. If you're going to watch watch the one on Google and SEO. It's done by a Google employee, not an eBay employee, so that's an important one to watch. But one of the things that's important that they confirmed is that if you use calculated shipping, your items are either not indexing in Google, or they're indexing much slower, or only some of them are indexed. So you should make sure that you are using flat rate shipping if you're not using free shipping, if you care about your items being seen offsite. Now, I will say that there is a large percentage of buyers that buy because of Google search for an item, and then they are directed to eBay to purchase your item. That's why you have so many zero feedback buyers. That's why you have so many guest buyers. That's the reason why. So I would highly suggest, and I've said this before, that you should be using flat rate shipping. Use your business policies. There's a lot of reasons for that, but especially for this reason. For us, we would use it because we're kind of on a coast almost. And anytime someone wanted to buy something from the East Coast, if it's more than a pound or two, if you use calculated shipping, it looks exorbitant. And that's not always what it's actually going to cost, right? So you don't want to dissuade buyers for that reason. But I highly suggest setting up business policies, and you should be using, under a pound or under half a pound, whatever ways you want to do it, you figure it out. But calculated shipping is going to hurt you in Google Index.
So here's the thing, Shelly, because they said they were very clear and direct and very definitive, saying if you use calculated shipping, your stuff's not going to be indexed.
They said if you use calculated shipping, don't.
Okay.
It's basically what they said.
But they also said it won't be indexed. Clearly, I know Liz went and tried to verify that and saw, like you said, that some of her stuff was still showing up. So obviously it's not a clear-cut case of if you use calculated shipping, your stuff just won't show up. I do think clearly there is somehow it's going to be detrimental to your listing and how it's viewed, whether or not it shows up, where it shows up. So I would
how fast it indexes too. It may just be that it doesn't index quickly.
Maybe it delays it by a week or a month or 2 months. I don't know. But I think it is still...
But I have said for years that you should not use calculated shipping for a lot of reasons, and most of it being that calculated shipping does you a disservice if you happen to not be in the middle of the country.
Yeah.
Okay, so yes, we can hear the puppy is barking. Sorry, guys. Okay, so eBay Open replays. Norma, there is a link in the description of this video to the eBay Open replays. There should be. I asked Katy to put it in there. She did not.
I will put it in.
She will put it in there. Trish, maybe if you happen to be near your computer, or Alexis, if you happen to know where that link is, if you want to throw it into the chat, it is the eBay YouTube channel. They have all of the sessions there. The one thing about the sessions is that you're only going to see the portion of the session of the presenter speaking. It does not show any questions that the audience may have asked, so you do miss some of that. Because sometimes the audience is going to ask really good questions, like about the Google indexing, and I don't believe that was spoken about in the actual Google session. I think that came as a result of questioning.
Yes, it did.
Yes, Alexis, there's homework.
Yes, there's homework. Another thing, they're doing more with verifying buyers. Verified bidding, it now requires a phone number For all bidders, and for high valued items, they're actually requiring government ID and selfie verification. So I'm assuming this is specifically for people who do auctions.
And luxury items, high-end items, if they're doing, vehicles and timeshares and,
For categories like trading cards, they're actually testing holding funds during bidding or capturing partial payment immediately after close to ensure buyer intent. And I think this is even more exciting. For international buyers, they're applying the same strict verification, no exceptions. Because I know, like, with a lot of stuff like immediate payment, stuff like that,
they haven't been able to implement it. Yeah.
They're kind of like, oh, they're an exception.
So right now it's at 99% immediate payment with an offer or purchase, which is enormous, right? I think we complained for years and years and years. I actually don't have any complaints about it anymore because it's such a small percentage of people that don't pay. I think we remember so many that it was real bad for many years. So I'm really happy that they just keep closing that loop to make sure that every transaction is immediately paid for, which is fantastic because sometimes you're going to accept an offer on something that you want to take the money right then and there, but if they don't pay for a week, you wouldn't have accepted that price, right? I mean, I know that's how I am. Some of the things that they have implemented and are implementing over the next couple of months are really good things. I will say they didn't announce anything bad. Why would they? But the things that they did announce are all things that I think will benefit the majority of us.
Yeah.
Another
one,
there.
automated feedback.
This is my favorite
don't
one.
Care about
oh, see, this is my favorite one. Yeah. So automated feedback. Okay, much like if you are a seller on Mercari, for example, is the only platform that I can think of that does this. If your transaction goes smoothly, if your buyer chooses not to leave feedback, and when a seller, once their item is delivered and they haven't left feedback in, how long is it? I think they give them,
I think it's 3 days.
It may be 3 days.
3 or 4 days, I don't know.
It's very similar to Mercari. If your buyer doesn't leave feedback, you're going to get an automatic feedback that's going to have a positive.
Yeah.
I don't know what it's going to say yet, but it'll say something like on Mercari, it'll say this feedback is automated, transaction accepted, whatever. It doesn't matter. But what it will do is it's going to boost your numbers. So we know now that about 20% of buyers leave feedback. Some people, it's even less. So if 20% of your buyers leave feedback now, just imagine that now the feedback will be automated and your actual number of transactions will match your number of sales, which is really important for people that are low volume sellers because there's a lot of reasons why. Okay, first of all, you want to have your actual transaction number reflect the amount of sales that you've had. It shows you're professional. It shows that you are a good seller. But also, if you have issues like negative feedback or you have seller metrics being hurt because of a negative feedback or an INAD or something that you didn't respond to, right now your seller metrics are based on the amount of people that left feedback and the amount of transactions left. If you get a negative feedback and you have 20% of your buyers leave feedback and you're a low volume seller, that negative feedback can really hurt you and hurt you for an entire year.
True.
What's nice about this is that you're going to have a real percentage of your feedback. So
I don't think the feedback, in my opinion, I don't really care that much about the feedback percentage, but I do wonder when it comes to INADs, because there is the fact that if you have a certain number of INADs, certain percentage of INADs, you can end up getting an additional 5% fee. So my question is, are they going to adjust that requirement, or are they going to leave it and now it's better because it's going to take longer to get to that?
I mean, I think we're going to see. I don't really know the answer to that one yet because they didn't really address that. But I don't think it's a bad thing that there's going to be automated feedback that's going to reflect your number of transactions. I think that's a good thing. I don't know if it's going to change anything about the INADs, Trish. That's the thing. I'm not sure. It will definitely change the percentage of negatives, though. So that's a good thing, and that's in and of itself.
Yeah, and that's the part where I'm like, I don't care. So
it'll help you in that regard. What else did we have? Was there anything else?
That was it as far as on that goes. I don't know if there's any, Trish or Liz, if you remember anything else that's like super important. But I would say overall, like, all of the changes that they announced, they're either like, okay, or they're like, oh, that's great. There's nothing where we're like, we got to come out with our pitchforks and...
No, I think they were all like... They were all positive. Yeah, I think they were all positive neutral changes or neutral changes. Like, it may not affect you, but okay. Yeah, it's a good change. The other thing, thank you, Liz. There is the AI messaging So Liz and I were both part of this beta program for the last several months where there's messaging. It's actually in effect now. If you've looked at your messages, I believe you've had the ability to accept using it or not.
Yeah.
I know what the other thing too.
Okay.
And so the AI messaging, so people ask questions, and half of the time the answer is in your description, right? Oh, what is the measurement? What is the waist measurement on this? Is this new or used? What is the size? The one thing about this is that the AI messaging will read your actual description and your title and will craft an answer for your buyer. Now have the ability to edit it and just send it as is, or just send it as is, or use your own messaging, but it'll craft an answer for you. So it's really fast. It was working kind of sporadically when we were in the beta program. I was like, I don't know about it. But now it seems to be much more robust. Also, which Liz also mentioned, is something that we have been asking for a very long time, is being able to see your previous offers sent to a buyer in your messaging. Now your messaging, the way that our new messaging system shows every conversation, no matter what it is, it's now going to have embedded in it any offers that are sent back and forth. Whether you sent an offer to a buyer 6 months ago and then they send you a message about the item, doesn't matter. You'll have the message that will have your previous offers, which is important because we forget. What the heck? We send a message, right? You send an offer to somebody, you don't always remember what that offer is. I sure as heck don't.
And years ago on the app, you used to be able to see. Years ago, you used to be able to see, and then suddenly it just disappeared. And so now your only option, if somebody sends you an offer and you're not sure what you sent to them before, because sometimes it can get stretched out over a while, you have to go onto your desktop to be able to see any kind of offer history. And it's like, how did it take this long for us to get this figured out? But whatever.
We've talked about it so many times. I want to say that was one of the biggest things that we all talked about last year at eBay Open, talking to those of us that were able to talk to employees, and have said it many, many times. So I think it's the best
change. I think it's the best change that they announced.
It's the one personally. I think that's going to work the best in our business flow, I think, for sure.
It's going to be the most impactful for the most people. Lori wants to know
that was the other thing too. Trust and Safety did said items not received. Okay, so if a buyer says their item was not received, and this is separate from the eBay shipping label thing. If a buyer opens an item not received case and the case times out and the buyer gets their item refunded to them because it got lost and USPS sat on it for 3 weeks and they get the money refunded to them. If the buyer eventually gets the item and tracking shows that it was delivered, you're able to contact eBay and you'll get refunded. That never happened before. You were just SOL.
So you do need to contact them, though.
Yes, you would need to contact them.
I know, because some buyers are they're waiting for the exact second that it's supposed to be delivered. Or they'll wait for the earliest of the window of time when it was supposed to be delivered. And they're like, oh, item not received.
Right. I just had one this week. That finally ended up closing out, and I lost the money on it. And I can't even open a lost package with USPS yet because it's been less than 45 days. I'll get my money back from USPS on that one because they definitely lost it. They scanned it a few times, and it's who knows. But
I mean, Liz, it sounded like it was. I mean, to me, it sounded like if the reason that they choose is remorse, if it's not that it's not as described, it'll automatically be either they won't even have the opportunity or it'll be automatically refused, trying to open a return. And if it's for any other reason, they only have 3 days to do that. So if they wait 5 days and they go, I didn't like this and I'm going to go open a return for item not as described, it won't even be an option or it'll deny it. So they have a very short window when they can do that. But yeah, definitely get clarification from eBay.
So I mean, that's it in a nutshell. I think there were a lot of really good positive messages this year. I mean, Liz spoke this year at Open, and I didn't go see her because she yelled at me and told me I couldn't see her because it would make her nervous. So I'm waiting for them to put up the thing so I can see my friends that were speakers, because I'm sure she did fine. I'm sure she was fantastic. All right, Lori, nothing else important. You can go to bed.
I will say, this is my, not really a complaint so much as feedback, or maybe it is a little bit of a complaint. I've been saying since 2017, the first eBay Open that I went to, that they need more seller-led content, and that honestly, for the most part, I don't really, and I never have really attended that much of the regular sessions put on by eBay employees, because as far as eBay employees go, I get lots of interaction with them directly. I get to talk to them. I don't necessarily want to go and sit while they talk about the product. But the sessions that are always the best are the ones that are actual sellers.
Oh.
And so, hold on, let me just say this. And we've been saying this forever. When we did the Boss Reseller Remix, it was kind of us saying, like, okay, if you're not going to do it eBay, we're going to do it ourselves. And I think the content that we had at our event has always been far better. And once again, I think that the best content at this event was what was done by sellers.
Okay, I'm going to have a quick caveat with that. In previous years, the content by sellers was generally sellers speaking on topics that they are very, very well versed on. Mm-hmm. This year, the sellers that spoke were assigned their topics. That's the main difference. So, like Liz spoke on shipping. Not that Liz is not well versed on shipping. She can talk about any aspect of the eBay experience, but would she have chosen to speak on shipping? Probably not. That was probably not a super interesting topic that she wanted to talk about. So, I will say that if they are to do this again, they will do eBay Open again. Will they do it in person again? Probably not anytime soon. Maybe at another 5-year anniversary. What I'd like to see is them actually allowing sellers to speak on topics that they are good at, topics that they have actual real input in that pertains to their business, something that they are experts in, whatever that may be, or how they apply it to their business. That is what I think was different this year, is that they didn't allow that. They assigned the topics. So again, I think the topics are good, but I think that seller-led topics where people speak about something they're passionate about, nothing can beat that.
Well, let me clarify. I wasn't talking about the ones like what Liz did. I was more specifically talking about all the speakers that spoke in the expo hall that were allowed to pick their own topics and were allowed to free speak.
That's fair.
They didn't have to. They weren't given these narrow parameters. They were allowed to speak on what they wanted to speak about and how they wanted to speak about it.
That's fair. That's true. Those of us that spoke on the spotlight stage, and also people like Trish and some other people that spoke in the networking lounge, they had set up these little networking tabletop discussions. It was all in the same area. The biggest issue with that is that those were also the ones that a lot of sellers wanted to attend, and it was very, very loud, and they didn't have microphones, and it was too hard to hear them.
And that's where I don't understand, because I'm like, I don't know how much more we can scream this from the rooftops. This is what sellers want. This is what sellers like. And yet they were still surprised at that so many people wanted to attend, and it wasn't just a couple of people at a table.
I know.
And I'm like, how are you surprised by this? I don't understand that. And so the problem is that there was so much noise. The DJ was playing, no microphone. And so you had all these people like huddling in, trying to hear, not being able to hear. And I'm just like...
And Trish is not quiet. So the fact that nobody could even... It was Trish and Susie and Crystal, and there were a lot of other people too, and I don't mean to dissuade it, not mention the other people that spoke, but it was all the sellers that are involved in the seller community were asked if they wanted to speak on a topic, really. And...
but they were given a lot more freedom.
They were given a lot more freedom. The seller-led topics were interesting.
And actually, when it came to the keynote stage, which is what they called the main stage when they would do like announcements and have like speakers like the higher ups at eBay, the best one of the entire freaking week was the very last one with Griff, because it was Griff, and I don't remember the woman's name that was up there with him.
Co?
Co, I think. It wasn't, maybe it was sort of scripted, but it was very much, it felt very organic. It felt unscripted. They did
she had great energy.
Mm-hmm, and they fed off of each other, and it felt like normal people who were comfortable with themselves speaking on the stage. And yes, sometimes the issue is that they've got an engineer up there who's not a speaker, but some of the people that were much higher up that are not engineers, that are people who are the public facing people. And it's so scripted. It's like you're watching, I don't know, like...
It's a corporate-y thing.
It's just overly corporate-y, though. It's like...
So, yeah, the poor chief technology officer, God bless him. I don't know if those of you that were watching this from home were able to see this, but the poor guy, his monitor went out, something wasn't working right, his teleprompter didn't work, he's clearly not a public speaker. And he just completely lost the thread on stage in front of everyone for several minutes. And the secondhand embarrassment was real. I felt for that guy, because I would have wanted to crawl off the stage.
Yeah.
But he kept going, and he managed. He did it. But God bless him. He's not a public speaker, right? He's a tech guy. They don't get up there and talk. So that's part of the issue, and it's part of the issue that eBay has always had. Not everyone is a people person like Shelly. Shelly worked for eBay. Shelly is a people person, but Shelly is also comfortable speaking in front of people. And a lot of the people that are in tech roles are not comfortable.
But even there were at least 3 or 4 high up people who are not tech people, who are leadership, that spoke.
That's true.
And it was very scripted. I'm reading from a teleprompter.
That's true. I think Jamie's a good speaker. I Love him or hate him. I don't really know the man, so I have nothing to say. But I think he's a good speaker. I think he speaks pretty well.
It just felt very scripted, which doesn't feel warm and fuzzy, which is like, to me, the antithesis of like eBay sellers. We're quirky, we're weird, we're kind of from all over the place. We want some warmth.
Yeah, it's true, because
like
Shelly is a seller and she understands. Well, Griff is real, right? I mean, Griff is just a real guy, and that's why he's been so beloved for so long. He is a crotchety old guy, and he's the first person to say that, but he is a very sweet, kind man as well, and he's funny. He's very funny.
He made Vikki cry a lot.
He did make me cry. But again, I cry at everything.
Do you want to, so we're already like over an hour in, do you want to say anything about Posh Fest?
I'm going to Posh Fest, guys. I know.
What are you doing at Posh Fest?
I have no
Trish,
idea.
what are you making her do at Posh Fest?
Nothing.
You got your outfits figured out?
No, I do not. Apparently, I need to dress to impress, so I got to work on it. Listen, this is the first time eBay opened this year. This was the first time I actually wore clothing that fit me, that I felt comfortable in. I'm still trying to figure out how to dress. I couldn't figure out how to dress for the Boss Reseller Remix. I think I nailed it for Open this year. I've got to find some outfits for Posh Fest. I have some. I'll figure it out.
I just wear smaller t-shirts.
Yes, I know. Katy is totally a fake posh twat.
I gotta take care of the dogs.
Here's the thing. Their tickets were very inexpensive. It happens to be in San Jose. I get to go and visit my daughter a couple days after, and probably Alexis as well that weekend after. And it's a cheap hour and 15-minute flight.
Look, Trish already changed her picture.
Good job,
Trish. I love you, and that's a great picture. So I was just helping you out. Thank you for listening to me.
That is a very good picture.
Do everything I tell you to do at all times, and you'll be good.
So I'm excited. I'm excited to go because I get to spend time with friends, and I get to, I have more friends that I'm going to hang out with there. That and I am not working the event, and I've never been. I don't need to impress anybody, and I sell on Posh. Yes. Posh is my second largest platform. I sell about $25,000 a year on Posh. Nothing to sneeze at, but I don't need to.
I am super jealous because, listen, I don't care about Posh. I will proudly say I am a Posh twat. Apparently not twatty enough because I'm not going to Posh Fest. But I do need to stay home and take care of the dogs. We have too much traveling coming up, so we can't both go. But there are people who did not come to Open that that are going to Posh Fest. I'm very sad that I don't get to see. Like Tiffy Pie.
Oh, that's true.
She didn't, and Sarah
Boykin.
Yes,
and Tammy.
And Tammy. And Tammy, I will tell you, I'm not just saying this because you're here watching. I will tell you, at one point I said, "Wait, is Tammy coming to Open?" And I got a little excited because I heard something about you coming. And then Vikki was like, "No, she's coming to Posh Fest." And I'm like, "Well, I'm not going to Posh Fest. Who cares?" I thought you were going to come to Open, so I got excited, and I was very sad.
We met Tammy at the Boss Reseller Remix this year, and I did say it to her then, and I'll say it now. She was one of the most outgoing people that attended an event, and she knew nobody when she showed up, and I love that. I love that she was all in and super outgoing and friendly and just wanted to have a great time, and it showed, and that was a lot of fun.
Yeah, for sure.
So I am excited to go to Posh Fest. I've never been. I mean,
never.
Trish has gone almost every year, I think, and I'm kind of excited to just see what it's about and hang out with my friends. And Trish is working. Trish will be there working with Liz perfectly, and as will Pam and I think Clara. Maybe I'm not sure if Clara's going or not. I think that's still up in the air. But she's there as Liz Perfectly as one of the main sponsors at Posh Fest, but I'm not working. I will help. Don't get me wrong. I will help my friend Trish.
I just think it's really unfair that you got to go on like this road trip and you got to go, and in Colorado you got to see Sarah, and now you get to see her again at Posh Fest, and she's my BJF, not your BJF.
That's true.
Which stands for Best Jew Friend, because we are both Jewish, and we met at Camp Listing Party and have been BJFs ever since. And
Shelly, just buy a Posh Fest ticket. Come hang out
yeah,
with us.
do it.
Just come hang out with us. It's not
Yeah.
that expensive.
How much was it? Less than $100? Like $75 or something?
No, it was like $250.
Oh, $250. Gross. Don't do it. Just show up. The nighttime stuff is going to be there. You can. I'm sure she can come hang out with you guys.
She can totally come hang out with us at night.
Yeah, she doesn't have to be there during the day.
Totally.
They sold out.
They sold out. They finally sold out. It's kind of like eBay. eBay took forever to sell out.
Yeah.
So.
Yeah, just show up. They'll see.
Oh, Thrift Raider. I ended up meeting Katy briefly at Open. Didn't find an opening to meet Vikki. Oh, I didn't meet you. I'm so sorry. I look at your face looks familiar, but I don't think we did meet. I do follow you on Instagram and all those things. So
yeah, I saw.
I did not. See you.
We met.
I'm sorry.
Sorry, you're lame.
But yeah, I had a great time at Open. If we are ever at the same place again, just interrupt me because I don't shut up. It's really hard to get a word in edgewise. Just walk up to me and interrupt me.
I think it was pretty impressive that you met me without Vikki, though, because usually if Vicki's not around, I find a way to hide or like.
That's true.
I'm like, oh, I got to go get something from the hotel room and disappear.
Posh is in like 3 weeks, Shelly.
Yeah, me too. That's my point. Like I'm
exactly. You met Katy, and Katy's the shy one.
I mean, I'm good at pretending like I'm not, but basically I do lots of like, oh, I got to go to the bathroom, which, to be fair, I do have to go to the bathroom a lot these days.
It's true.
Or like,
I gotta pee every 45 minutes.
It's true. Which, oh, by the way, guys, little health update. I do have my hysterectomy scheduled for October 28th. And the day that I found out, which I'm like, ugh, why so far away? But now it's kind of good because we have so much stuff coming up. But the day I found out about my my scheduled surgery, my bladder got too full, and to the point where I've since learned that if my bladder gets too full, because basically I've got a fibroid, to give you guys all the TMI, but we've done this before. I got
it's
a fibroid.
Like this big.
I got a big fibroid hanging out right on my bladder, and so I pee all the time. It's not a big deal. I just need to get it taken out. It's fine.
She's not dying. It's not cancer or anything.
However, what I've since learned is that there is a point of no return. And so I have to pee more frequently because if I get too full, what happens is I ended up having to go to the ER because I had what's called urine retention.
She had to get a catheter.
It basically got so full that I could not pee at all. And then it was like emergency time. And they ended up getting 1,700 cc's out of me, which, I mean, you can...
A normal full bladder has 300 to 400.
Yeah, cc's. And 1,500 is where you can potentially, like, burst your bladder. So it was not good. Not good, you guys. But no pain or anything. It's just, like, constant peeing. And at Open, it was a good excuse, though, to be like, I gotta go to the bathroom. Because it was true. I didn't
every
have to lie
20
about
minutes.
it.
It's true.
Yeah.
So that's all of it in a nutshell. I mean, we haven't talked to you guys in like 2 months. So sorry about that. We are terrible part-time, crappy YouTubers. But
we're the best YouTubers.
It's been busy. Been busy summer, lots of trips and people visiting and things happening. And so here we are. Oh yeah, so sorry about that.
Fibroid sister.
It's brutal.
I mean, I hear about other people having like a lot of pain or like period issues. Sorry, guys. None of that's happening for me. It's all about the bladder. And it's just making it so I gotta pee all the freaking time and I can never empty my bladder. It's real bad. And
yeah, see, Shelly, I told her to get Depends. She's a little too proud for Depends still.
But it's not like that. I can't just pee myself. I actually have to like push on the outside to make myself pee. It's ridiculous. It's ridiculous.
Anyway, so after October, she'll be fine. But come October, I'll be doing shipping for both of us, and because she won't be able to move anything or lift anything for a long time. It's gonna be tough. It's gonna be rough. So we've got to get in all the trips first. So I've got Posh Fest, and then I come back from Posh Fest, and then we go to Florida with Trish again. Trish is just so sick of us by now because she's gonna spend so much time with us this year. So then we go. More of us. We're going to Florida. We're going to Disney and Universal. For a week, and then we come back, and then we're going on my cruise for my birthday in October. We are doing a birthday cruise, and Trish and her husband are joining us, and our friend Allison, Big Drift Thrift, she's coming too.
It's gonna be awesome.
So we're gonna have a good time.
Liz, I'm very excited to not have a uterus. I'm totally down with that. And see, Trish has never. You know, Trish was sick with the COVID, and her mom was very concerned and very alarmed that she was in our home with the COVID. Very concerned that she was going to get us.
You should get a hotel.
Very concerned that she was going to get us sick, and told her that she should really get a hotel. And Trish told her, and Trish was very correct. She told her that, no, I can't do that, Mom. Katy would be very mad at me. And it's true. I would have been very angry if she tried
I mean,
to
the
leave
good
our
thing
house.
is I was nowhere near as sick as Trish. Don't get me wrong. Mine was just tired. Katy kept us fed for the whole week. She made sure that we didn't die.
And I've never gotten it, and I don't get sick very easily, so I'm like, yeah, whatever, they're sick. Maybe I get it, maybe I don't. Maybe I'm flirting with danger, guys. I don't know, but I'm just like, whatever, and I just take care of them. So,
Yep.
that was my job.
She was good at taking care of us, so.
Yep.
Katy would have been wicked pissed.
Wicked pissed.
Anyway, guys, do we have any other questions in the chat? Alexis, first of all, I owe you a text. I meant to text you today. I'm sorry my kid is a jerk.
Yeah, her kid's a jerk.
Listen, those of us that have adult children or teenage children, you know what I'm saying. I love my daughter, but man, is she a pain in my butt. Anywho. Anybody have any questions in there? I don't see any questions.
Questions, comments.
I'm glad that we went to eBay Open. I'm glad that we had so much fun with all of our friends. I will say it was really nice to not feel like we were the hosts or on. I forgot how fun it was. And I really, really, really enjoyed myself. And part of it is because I think it was because we don't have... we didn't have any obligations.
Yeah.
And, you know, a certain someone that made eBay Open difficult for us years in the past was not there. And that was also nice.
And it was great getting, because in the past, like whenever we did the remix, we would always stay at the hotel so we could be with everybody. But when we've done Open,
we've
always commuted because it was like, we might as well. So this time we did Open. So not only did we not have any obligations because we weren't hosting, we also stayed at the hotel.
Mm-hmm.
So we really, that might be part of why it was like the best one ever, because
Might have been.
Because we weren't thinking about shipping, because when we would commute, we just like, well, we might as well ship. So we ship in the morning and then drive in, and it's just so much better when you just stay. Even if you end up going to bed early, it's just better when you stay and you don't have to like drive anywhere. But it was definitely a lot of fun, and there was something else I was going to say. Now I don't remember it, but that's okay.
Yeah, she will be laparoscopic if possible. Tammy, do we only do eBay? No, we both sell on multiple platforms. I sell on eBay, Etsy, Poshmark, and Mercari, and Katy sells on those four.
I sell
plus
eBay,
Grailed.
Etsy, Grailed, Mercari, Depop, Poshmark.
Yep.
So
I've sold on Depop. It was never worth my time, so I stopped that one. But
yeah, I mean, I haven't added anything to Depop in like months, so I'm just like, whatever. But if there's no reason, it's not like I pay to be on there, so there's no reason to take my stuff off. And I still pay attention to like whether or not I sell something, but maybe once every few weeks I might sell something. I'm like, okay. And it's funny because you know, Mercari, what a roller coaster. Mercari, my sales were mediocre. And then they changed everything around fees. Suddenly I got great sales. Then they changed everything back, went back to crappy sales.
same.
And then I stopped cross-posting to it. And so my sales, you know, maybe I sell something once or twice a week, maybe. But
Once or twice a week, man.
I
That's
said
like balling on Mercari.
Maybe.
I'm like once or
But
twice
it's
a
like
month.
it's like low price stuff, because now I'm listing lower price stuff. And so one thing that's been great is, you know, I've had to, because I've lost I've lost like 85 pounds in the last year. And so all of my t-shirts, like I wore snugger shirts. I like a little snugger. So all my shirts were like larges and mediums. I've probably taken like 50 of my black t-shirts. Of course, they're all black. 50 of my black t-shirts out of circulation and have listed them for sale. And all of a sudden I was like, oh no, I don't have any I barely have any shirts, and I don't have any that I love. And so I've kind of been using Mercari as like, when I sell something on there and I get my $30, I've just been leaving it on there and buying stuff with it. Cause I'm like, okay, that's going to be kind of like my little,
That's your clothing
that's like my clothing allotment.
fund.
And so I've gotten like 4 or 5 t-shirts on there now. This is one of them. This is my latest one. And this was a great one where I didn't even know it was brand new and it came with tags. I'm like, oh, sweet.
So Norma asked, where was Open held? It was held right here in Las Vegas, so that was nice. Yeah, Laura, Katy lost 85 pounds. I lost 70, between 70 and 75. Depends on the week. And yeah, we've been on a health kick for me it's been the last year and a half. And I've been the same weight now since November. So I mean, I've been holding steady since November. But it's been good. It's been good.
At the
Definitely
Venetian.
a heck of a lot more energy than I used to have.
100%.
Definitely a lot more energy.
It's funny though, because we've been doing tirzepatide, which is basically like Mounjaro or
It's in the Ozempic family. It's just
not Ozempic, but yes, GLP-1 family.
I'm saying the word Ozempic because most people only know what that word means. Okay, stop.
It's like
It's in the same family.
Anyway, and when I started taking it, Vikki had started before me, but when I started taking it, I kind of got into this like, okay, now I'm going to take care of all the health things. And I hadn't had any issues before then. Well, I was peeing a little bit more than usual, but I didn't know yet what was going on. And I feel like once I started taking care of all the health stuff, suddenly I'm like, oh, I've got fibroids. Oh, I've got this. Oh, I've got that. But luckily nothing that's like actually bad, just stuff that needs to be dealt with surgery.
Oh yeah, I wanted to talk about one more thing that we changed at eBay Open. If anyone cares, if you are a seller meetup leader, they have rebranded that whole program, and it is now called Seller Circles. So this is the new logo, Seller Circles.
I got a t-shirt.
It is. The word meetup is a copywritten website, and they've had to pull away from that. So if it's a seller-led meeting, it's going to be called Seller Circles, seller meetings. So if you start seeing those words bantered about, that's what it means. It's a seller meetup. They're just calling it something different, Seller Circles. And so we're going to change the vernacular around that a little bit. But it's still the same thing. It's seller-led meetings led for sellers by sellers. One thing Katy did is she did record my speech, which was about seller meetings, and we're going to upload that onto the channel in the next couple of days if anybody wants to see it. It was like 15 minutes, nothing fantastic, but I did have some requests, people that were not there, weren't able to see it, that wanted to read it. So, anyway.
Also, my other favorite part of the thing is, so eBay always has like a little merch store, a little pop-up. Mm-hmm. And when you got your swag bag, it came with a card for $30 off at the merch store. And they had some stuff that was cheaper, like you could get you didn't have to
water
spend any
bottles
money.
And things, yeah.
Bag. They had like a little fanny pack, I think that was like less than $20 and stuff. But my favorite thing, they had sweatshirts, they had t-shirts, but the best thing they had was a zip-up hoodie. Because I don't know about you guys, but I'm very particular about my hoodies. I cannot do a pullover hoodie, okay? I need to be able to regulate my temperature. And when you put a hoodie on, then you get hot, you gotta take it off, you gotta pull over your head. I hate the feeling, like I got sensory issues, I hate the feeling of like pulling a sweatshirt over my head. So I love me a zip-up hoodie. And again, lost all this weight, don't have a small hoodie. And I was like, heck yeah, a black, which you guys know, I love black zip-up hoodie in my size. It's really super soft and nice. I love it. I was wearing it every day. Vikki was like, oh, you're getting a hoodie? Okay, cool. We can just share it. And I said, no.
I had to get my own.
You got to get your own stinking hoodie. It was like $40, so I only had to pay like $10 for it. And I was very, very, very happy about that.
So we have the same hoodie. Anyway, so Missy asked a question. I only buy and sell on eBay since 2002. Am I limiting myself too much? Do you recommend List Perfectly and all of the others? So I will say it depends on what you sell. I do think that while eBay is the biggest game in town still, I do think you are limiting yourself by not being on other platforms, because I will say I've been with List Perfectly since 2019. If you haven't tried them, I do have my code down below, 30% off your first month. But more importantly than that, if you have tried them before, the company has grown so much in the last 6 years and changed so much. If you're not using List Perfectly, you should be using some cross-posting service. They're much more than just a cross-posting service, but to simplify things, you should be using something that allows you to cross-post to more than one platform.
There are free ones out there.
There are free ones out there if that's all you're looking for. I think, I'm sure if you're selling guitars, you're not selling on Reverb? Reverb is like the place to be selling musical equipment. I think you should definitely diversify because different buyers buy on different platforms. And depending on what you're selling, that's where you're limiting yourself. So I definitely think you should try other platforms.
Yeah, it just depends.
For you, if it's guitars, if they're vintage guitars, which vintage in the reseller world means 20 years or older, then you should be selling on Etsy. I don't think you should be selling guitars on Poshmark because of shipping stuff, but I would maybe Macari. Reverb is pretty great for equipment, and that would not be a cross posting software. You'd have to just figure that one out on your own on Reverb, but yeah, that's my opinion on what you sell. I think you should definitely try it. List Perfectly has many different tiers. It starts at $39, so it all depends on what you're looking for. They're definitely on par with all of the other cross-posting services, but it also, again, it is much more than just cross-posting. If you're looking for just a cheap or free cross-poster, you can find those. But that's all it's going to do, and it's not going to do quite as much as List Perfectly
Well, and
does.
they've added. I mean, they did announce the new thing, correct?
Yes.
What's it called? Lister.
I don't know if Trish is in there. Seller Lister or something. Trish works for List Perfectly, and if she's in the chat.
So they have a whole new thing. I don't know when it's going to be available. I know that they're still putting the finishing touches on it. But it is an AI lister. But the thing that's different about it, which they already have within List Perfectly, they already have the AI. What's it?
Let me talk
You
about it.
use
Since
it.
you've
I
never
know I'm
used it.
asking you to. That's what I'm
It's
asking
called
you.
it's called Express Lister. It's an
Within-
AI generated lister within List Perfectly. If you are creating your listings within List Perfectly, the AI is phenomenal,
Right.
and helps you create listings and keywords and categories in a fantastic, quick, and easy way.
And you've been using it for over a year,
I've been using
right?
it for quite a while, and I love it. However, if you are someone that lists only on eBay and you list natively on eBay and you're not interested in all the bells and whistles that List Perfectly offers, Listing Assistant thank you, Trish, is the new program that they've come out with that is fairly inexpensive, and you will use that just within eBay, and you can use it just to use the AI to create a better listing on eBay.
But
But
it's
that is
within-
not cross-posting. That is just to use the AI. So there are lots of different plans and things. If you have not looked at List Perfectly recently, or if you haven't looked at any type of cross-posting or reselling software that helps cross-post, I highly suggest giving it another look.
Yeah.
Everything has changed and evolved with all of the cross-listing tools. I've said from the beginning, I've been using List Perfectly since they came out. Since they were first in beta in 2019, and they created cross-posting. They were the first company to create the cross-posting tools. Everything else is an imitation. And while there are many other good companies, I'm not denigrating any other company. You've got to find the one that works best for you. I will, however, say I've never had a problem with them, and I saw no reason to use an imitation when I could use the original.
But see, so like I've never used the AI lister within List Perfectly because I don't create my listings inside List Perfectly. I create my listings on eBay, and then I cross post from there. But within the last year, and I don't know if I'm ever going to go back. I probably will go back to Poshmark, but I've only been listing on eBay and Etsy for the past year. And so I actually am looking forward to trying out Listing Assistant because, like Trish is saying, it's part of the eBay listing flow. Like you are on eBay, not in List Perfectly. It's separate from List Perfectly. So
it's just connected
somebody could not even be a List Perfectly user and
Correct.
just sign up for Listing Assistant and just go onto eBay and just use
use their AI to generate a more robust listing with better keywords and features. And that's I'm hesitant to change things. I always have been. Those of you that have been following me for a while, you know that of me. I don't like change. I don't like swinging around and making things different. It took me a long time to try the AI that List Perfectly had, and I have to say I think I waited till the right time because they were in beta for a while and it had its bugs like all beta programs do. And by the time they finally fully released it, it was already in a great
You can
place.
speak to the strength of the AI because I haven't used it. So
It was already in a great place, and it's only gotten better and only does get better. The more it's used, the smarter it gets. As our friend Cheryl says, it's going to come and kill us all in the middle of the night. But I
For
think
now, we might as well just
for now, just be nice. Just say thank you.
Yeah. Which,
Just say
by
thank
the
you.
way, I have been with Trish while she's used Chat GPT to write stuff or to like help her with stuff, and she's or she's talking to like Alexis or whatever. She's very polite, and she does say thank you a lot.
It's true.
She does say thank you a lot. She does say please. And so while the rest of us are being murdered, Trish will probably be their queen, their human queen.
It's true. They will make her their leader.
Yep.
Anyway, I think it's pretty great. Yeah, Tammy, you should definitely use the AI part. And here's the thing: I'm a vintage seller. Those of you that don't know, I think most of you do, but those of you that don't know, I'll sell a lot of vintage hard goods and vintage clothing. It's a big portion of my business. For the longest time, AI was the only AI I was privy to was eBay's AI. And no offense, eBay, but your AI is not very good.
Right up there with their background remover.
Correct. LP's AI is really smart, and it's really good. And I thought for a long time that it wouldn't work for me because of what I sell, and I've learned the ways to make it work for me. Sometimes because I sell vintage clothing, AI is only as good as the information that's out there in the internet, right? So vintage clothing, if I put up a vintage dress, it's going to look at that dress and it's going to take the first 6 photographs and it's going to create a listing based on those first 6 photographs. Well, if there's no tags and it's a thing that they can't find because it's the only one, which is very likely on most of what I sell, it's going to kind of come up with what it thinks it might be. And that's always not the most accurate. But what I have found that works for me is I will take those photos, I will create my title. If I create my title, I know what I have. If I create the title and I put what it is, it's a vintage 1950s fit and flare, bouffant cupcake dress, women's size small, green floral, boom, put that all in a title, and then I have the create my listing from the title. Then it creates an amazing listing. So that's how I found my workaround. A lot of times it's going to work from just your photos depending on what you sell. For me, it doesn't.
I'm not going to lie. The only thing I'm using AI for, and I have Chat GPT, okay? I'm using it to make silly, inappropriate pictures.
That's true. That's true.
That's the extent of what I've used it.
And yes, it does it all off of the photo. It does it off your first 6 photos in your listing. So it's like Google Lens an item. You have to have more than one photo, but yes, it will build it off of the photo. It'll build a listing off the photo, Danica. Yeah, and I think it's fantastic.
We love you, Danica.
We miss you, Danica.
Yeah, Danica.
So yeah. All right, we've been talking now for an hour and a half, and I should probably go cook dinner. It's only 8:30.
Well, the dogs definitely want to eat.
Dogs need to eat.
Surprised they only barked for like 15 seconds.
But we had like 60 something of you guys here with us live talking, and I appreciate that. Thanks for popping in and seeing us. And we'll be back. We'll do our Sunday show.
We will?
We'll do our normal Sunday show. And we'll see you guys soon. Thank you for joining us. If you have any other questions about any of the things we've talked about, feel free to shoot us questions. Put questions in the comments in the under the video. We will add the link for all of the eBay sessions so that you can watch the eBay sessions that have been uploaded. And we'll see you on Sunday.
Bye.
Bye, everybody.